It movie was released today, a reimagining of the 1990 Tim Curry version, as well as a chance to redo the original Stephen King novel. I was really excited for this film. I know you were as well.
Absolutely.
So let's jump right into it.
Yes.
We talked about in our review of the 1990 film, which we did post. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check that out as well. That Skarsgård had a lot to live up to.
And he did.
So let's start with Skarsgård.
Let's start right there. Okay. I thought he did a very good job with the role. He took it a very different direction, which was wise to go away from what Tim
Very
Curry
wise
did.
Indeed.
Indeed. So it was a more animalistic take on the role and a little bit more, I guess, in a sense, more boogeyman-like, which
Yes.
works and doesn't work in turn.
I thought that there was a little heart missing from this film,
Sure.
and some of it is because of that Pennywise character and expecting a little more playful humor out of it, which I thought Tim Curry really brought in, because Tim Curry is what made that film watchable.
Absolutely.
And I think there are so many things that this film had above it. Obviously, a better budget.
Absolutely.
We're, 27 years later, actually, oddly
Yeah,
enough. 27.
oddly enough. He makes a
to the
reappearance.
film, right? Years later in doing this film, and so obviously the effects themselves are better. There's the potential for better scenes.
Yes, indeed.
The cinematography was great. I thought some areas were a little too dark, maybe, but
Lighting was mostly good, but yeah, sometimes they went a little too dark or flickery with it. But yeah, other than that, it was well shot. The movie, the score was good. It was effective. It was creepy when it needed to be.
Yes.
It was light when it needed to be. So that was all well constructed and well done. So you have all these pieces now. You've got a good Pennywise. You've got the child actors who I
Right.
thought did a great job.
oh, they did.
And we'll touch on that. I thought the cinematography was good. The direction is good. So you have these pieces now. How they come together.
So I was going to say, actually, what was your favorite actor amongst the children?
I would say the bully Henry.
Yes.
That actor was excellent, wasn't he?
Good. I'm glad you and I agree on
Yeah,
that.
he was good.
Stephen King typically gives us one supernatural villain,
Yeah.
and he gives us a much more tangible villain.
Yes.
And in the 1990 film, I felt like they failed a little bit in really showing the
I
true
would agree with
nature
that.
of the bully, and he's holy shit horrifying.
Yes,
And he
I
did a
believe
really
it.
good-
I,
oh, yeah.
You sold it. So the kids they cast for the primary characters, right? They did a good job, didn't they? I mean, as far as the Losers Club was
They
concerned,
did. I thought they did a good
were all
job.
Pretty good.
It was a little distracting to me. I haven't actually looked up the numbers, but
Mm-hmm.
the actors appeared to be very disparate in age.
Oh, I agree. That's true. I did
And
notice
that was a little distracting.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if they're all supposed to be in the same grade or not.
Right, because
you know?
like Beverly is supposed to be their age, presumably,
I would assume.
and she appeared 2 to 3 years the kid's senior.
So that's just a casting thing. you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I get why they wanted to go that direction, maybe because they needed her to look more womanly and they wanted them to look younger. I thought it was a little distracting. Not only the 1980s setting, which the original one with the 1950s Americana veneer.
Yep.
This one with kind of a dirtier 1980s
a little
feeling.
grungier. Yep.
But also the amount of swearing in this film, really celebrating that R rating.
That was distracting. I agree with you. At times, I'm like, really? Do the kids really have to speak this way? Not because I'm so sensitive. I'm not
Right.
Delicate Flower here, but
You sure?
Yeah, apparently I am. It was really actually a distracting thing at times because these kids are. I mean, they're sailors. I swear to God.
Yes.
You know.
It is impossible, and we're doing our best here to divorce this from not only the book, but the 1990 version that we love so much. Obviously, we've already kind of talked about it. I've got to jump in with a little compare-contrast here, and
Okay.
I want
I bet it.
to bring you in on this. Let's go through some of the characters, because
Okay.
like I'm specifically thinking of Richie, who I thought was a lot funnier without being as sexual as Richie was featured in this one. I don't know. What's your
No, I
take
agree
on
with you
that?
there. I agree with you. If you want to compare and contrast some of the characters, and again, the kids did a good job. But yeah,
I thought the kid actors were better this time around.
They were.
I just didn't think the
the
characters
character
were
that
better.
they were given was not necessarily always better. Yeah, Richie as a comedian, there was more heart to him. He was
And
kinder.
that heart thing comes
Yeah,
up.
you could sense that you could see why he's part of the group. In this
Right.
instance, I can't really see why some of these people are part of the group.
No, he's just kind of a dick.
He is pretty much.
And Bill, I thought, look, they changed Georgie from being dead to going missing, which I actually think ripped a lot of Bill's character away.
It did because he's not sad at a loss.
No,
which
he's
given.
angry.
He's just angry.
Which, I mean, fine. And again, I don't think anyone who hasn't read the book or who hasn't seen the 1990 film, these aren't complaints they're going to have. I went into this movie with the expectation it was going to be a little truer to the novel, and I thought it was just as disingenuous to the novel as the 1990 film, just in different ways.
I agree. Different ways. I mean, for example, the horror aspect is very true to the source material. It's scarier, vastly scarier than the 1990 version, but in ways that I didn't expect. I went into this movie with the idea, and the hope, really, that this would be a film that was done in a traditional, creepy, show me what's going on, and have it scare me by seeing it, not by being startled by it. I've got a very strong startle response.
Yes, you do.
The jump scares get me. It's just a natural response. Jesus!
Exactly like that. And you know what? That's the problem is... Get out of here, Pennywise. That's the problem. There are way too many jump scares in this
I
film.
agree. I did not expect
The original
that.
film had none, actually.
Zero.
I mean, we had just rewatched it. There was 0 jump scares, which is how I prefer my horror. I don't have a strong startle response. So when jump scares happen, I'm just kind of sitting there cold going, all right, that was a noise, or that was a face that popped up. And so it doesn't really do anything for me in that regard. I thought Bill Skarsgård did a good job. I actually thought he could have been just as good as Tim Curry. Look, there's a massive tonal shift in about the last 40 minutes.
I would say
of
so,
this
yeah.
film.
Yep. In his character.
Yes, and he is so much better in the last
Yes.
40 minutes. So much better.
Yes.
So, I mean, look, you're going to enjoy this film. I think at
I
least
think
that's
so,
where
too.
I landed.
I think you'll enjoy it,
You'll
especially
enjoy
if
the
you like
movie.
horror films.
Right. Let's get to grades. We can discuss that.
We'll jump into grades.
Go ahead. Why don't you hit me with your grade?
All right. You know, really, because of how this movie was made and because of everything that we've talked about in terms of, how we feel about the source material, my grade, all honesty, I'm going to give it a B. And frankly, I'd say
think
because
that's fair.
it's very competently made and it's an enjoyable movie in its own way. It's just, if you are expecting it to be in any way like 1990 film, specifically as it pertains to the character of Pennywise,
Yep.
and that sort of idea and that feel, you're going to be disappointed in that regard. However, broadly speaking, the film is enjoyable, it is scary, and it's really well constructed. I mean, it really is a well-made film. So yeah, I can't give it but a B. It has to be there.
Right. I thought they did a good job in this movie. I think Kevin's assessment is spot on. I didn't think they did quite as good a job showing the bonding of the kids, aside from the quarry scene.
Yeah,
I
which you
think
see
was
in the
actually when they
trailers.
did the best showing them bond. If I were comparing it to the 1990 film, I'd probably give this movie a C. Standalone horror film, divorcing it from its source material, I'm going to agree with you. It's a B.
Yeah.
It's a B movie. It's better than an average horror movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, I went into this thinking I could already create our grades page before we do editing.
I know, I
Giving this
assumed.
an A. I'm like, you know what? Everything about this looked good. All of the early stuff this was going to be a good movie. But, and again, it is. And some of it for me might be suffering from overhyped expectations. So we're going to go see this movie again this week, and if something changes, we'll let you know.
Just didn't blow my mind.
Yeah, B.
B.
Solid B. All right, guys, that's our time. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to check out our 1990 retrospective review.
Yeah.
Till then, keep drinking, and from the three of us, really keep drinking. Out of here.